Yes, we are recording, and Doc, whenever you are ready, give your log.
Alright. Personal log, Teresa Maselli, stardate 5401.1. Myself, Lieutenant Commander Volok. Myself, Lieutenant Commander Volok, and Lieutenant Rugan have been brought by Lieutenant Jedzow Mel to Vulcan. Mel is an archaeologist, and she specifically requested our help in studying a newly uncovered site on the planet. While we are former colleagues from my time aboard the USS Anning, I am not yet sure why she requested our help. None of us are specifically skilled archaeologists, and I'm sure there are members of the Anning who are much more qualified to help her. While I am glad that this trip offers a distraction after recent events, and I much prefer actively doing something like this as opposed to sitting in space dock, I can't say I'm thrilled about visiting Vulcan. I find the Vulcan lack of emotion stifling and cold because, well, what's the point of living if you're never going to feel anything? Regardless, I am maintaining a level of cautious optimism about the trip, and I hope Valak and Rugan are excited. I'm glad that the two of them get to visit home. Sorry.
No, you're good. And I am going to plop us over on the fleet map. So you two are, so actually it's the three of you, Rugan, Volok, and Dr. Maselli. You are currently, I wish this map would load so I myself could see the detail of things. There we are. You two are currently en route to Vulcan. To clarify, from what you have gathered, a new archaeological site was just unearthed in an area of Vulcan, very well known. It's probably one of the most famous areas on Vulcan, known as the Forge.
Seems like everything goes down there.
Yeah, kind of everything big on Vulcan seems to go down in the Forge for some reason. Uh, no, to be a little bit more specific, the Forge is the hottest and I'd say most treacherous desert on Vulcan. God, where can I? Here we go. Places. Here we go. To quote right out of the book, Vulcan's Forge is the harshest desert on the planet. Surface waters inaccessible save to the native wildlife, and the only shelter is a network of caves. Geomagnetic anomalies and sand fire disrupt modern technology in this region. Those lost in the Forge are rarely rescued. However, from in the center of Vulcan's Forge is Mount Selea. It was a sacred place of retreat even before the time of Serac, and that is where Serac developed his philosophies. And so, from time to time, archaeological sites will be found in the Forge uh, of various ages. Often they're just remains of pilgrimages that failed, but sometimes it'll be something a little more interesting. Little peeks into Vulcan's past, sometimes from around the time of the Awakening, I think is what it was called. It was either the Awakening or the Enlightenment. I forget which it was.
Um, After Vulcan nuked itself.
Yeah, no. I know. It's just I forget what the actual term for that era was. It was either like the Awakening or the Enlightenment, something like that.
It's okay.
Yeah. Um,
Time
uh,
of awakening.
Time of Awakening. That's right. And I mean, even occasionally they'll find stuff older than that. So there are records that exist from the Forge region and elsewhere about uh, things that occurred on Vulcan before the Time of Awakening. But currently, the three of you, and Jed Zaumel, for you, Valak, you weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Do you remember who Jed Zaumel is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, Jed Zaumel was a archaeologist on the USS Anning, the Intrepid class vessel that Dr. Maselli served on before she came to be chief medical officer on the Hadfield. She showed up once and hung out with the doctor once in an episode that I'm pretty sure you were here for, but it was a quick
Yeah,
little
that's right.
thing. But she showed up again last week and said, "Hey, I'm going to Vulcan to help out with an archaeological dig while I'm on leave. You want to come? You can even bring a couple friends if you want."
Okay.
And the doctor decided she would do so, and she's dragging you along.
Alrighty.
So currently, the three of you are sharing a shuttlecraft to Vulcan.
So, Doctor, what exactly are we expected to find in this archaeological site?
Um, I have all of the details that you have, Commander. I don't know much more.
I see. Still somewhat wondering why we were chosen to come along.
I feel the same way, sir. Um, may I ask you, were you raised on Vulcan?
Uh, no. I was raised on one of its lunar colonies.
Yeah, in fact, it might even.
I was.
I was, yes. Um, is there, I've only been to Vulcan a handful of times, and I've never stayed for long. Is there anything important I should know about the planet?
Uh, the lieutenant could probably fill you in better than I can.
Which is ironic, going to be ironic
I
coming
don't know
from.
shit about Vulcan.
Oh boy, am I gonna have to feed you guys Vulcan fun facts?
Yes.
Vulcan fun facts.
Vulcan fun facts.
Uh,
Who has
Uh,
kinds of fun facts and stuff?
I don't think there's a Vulcan fun fact. There's
good.
no such thing.
Well, no. You actually no. You want a Vulcan fun fact? Dr. McCoy found this fact very fun. Uh, Vulcan salats are like giant teddy bears,
That is true, except for they also have razor sharp fangs.
but it is a fun fact.
I, that is the only that is the only Vulcan fun fact. Everything else is just interesting.
Interesting. Uh, no, in your case, Valak, you come from. Assuming you're coming from the. Um, are you from the Vulcan's moon, or are you from like another lunar colony somewhere else?
Just be another lunar colony.
Ah, okay. Not that important then. Uh, yeah, it's one of those
Um,
things that there's not a ton about other Vulcan planets
Yeah.
in here. Uh, anyways, um, so it's a very interesting existence on Vulcan. It is a very harsh environment. It is a desert world. There are a few. There is an inland sea. Actually, there are a couple of them, but they're they're small.
Yeah, the radioactive wars did a number on the place, and it was already not too great in the first place.
Fortunately, Vulcan has recovered over the long thousands, the few thousands of years since the time of awakening. But no, no, no. It's definitely a hostile environment. But the Vulcans adapted with with logic.
Yep.
There are a few main cities on the planet, I think. However, you won't be going to any of those as it stands.
You said we will not be going to any of the cities?
Correct.
Correct.
You are going straight to the archaeological site. They are already set up and waiting for you.
Alrighty then. Um,
So as you're actually here we go. Ooh, this is good. So as you're approaching Vulcan, you notice that it's Vulcan actually isn't a singular planet. It's a double planet that orbits a center.
What?
Yeah, it's a smaller planet and they orbit each other.
but
What?
only one is inhabited, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
It would be like
If the moon was bigger than it is,
yeah,
right?
yeah, or if the moon were closer,
Hmm.
it would be like if the Earth and the moon orbited each other instead of just the moon orbiting the Earth.
Astronomy fun fact, because the fact that the moon is so large compared to other rocky planet moons, and the fact that we have not yet found a planet with a stable large moon, an object like Earth, some astronomers do classify Earth as a double planet system.
Hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah. Um, Rugon, may I ask you if you enjoy being on Vulcan?
I will say that it is indeed an interesting place. I find much in common with its inhabitants.
Forgive me, but does Vulcan logic not conflict with your Klingon nature?
In what fashion?
All of the Klingons I have known, sir, have been highly emotional creatures.
Nice save.
Yeah, I was almost surprised.
I was
Indeed.
like, come on then, Nancy, dig yourself out of that one.
Yeah,
Ooh. Oof.
I was trying to figure out how to ask the question without sounding like a space Nazi.
Oof.
Okay, what do you say back?
Indeed. Well, as it stands, I find it more productive to focus my energies and my passions in more directed areas. I find I get far more done that way.
So you
And
suppress.
I will admit that I am somewhat at odds with most of my species in temperament.
I can see that, sir. So you suppress emotion like a Vulcan.
I wouldn't quite say that I suppress emotion as much as I choose not to let it rule me.
Yeah, that, that's fair, sir.
Though I will say that many of their techniques were interesting growing up. They can be applied to more than just Vulcan physiognomy.
In what sense?
In, again, well, the techniques used to focus one's mind do tend to work for focusing, or one species' mind do tend to work for focusing others.
I see. That would make sense considering how similar our brain matter is.
Indeed, it is. I always have found it interesting that a planet of logic and science such as Vulcan has produced so many excellent philosophers as well.
That is interesting. What do you think of the matter of luck?
I am not much of a philosopher myself, and do not know much about them. My focuses were more away from Vulcan and its peoples and his.
That makes sense. Do either of you feel like your logical nature conflicts with being philosophical? That's not a word. With being a philosopher? There you go. That's what I was trying to say.
I would not say that logic in and of itself conflicts with philosophy, in that all philosophy really is just following paths down to their logical conclusions. However, becoming a philosopher, I do believe that an overly logical mind would have difficulty approaching it, simply due to the fact that they have, uh, how should I say this, more of a difficulty from the outside looking in, as it were. I had the words, they fell the fuck out of my head. Hold on a sec. Again, just being being able to take such, again, a thought exercise such as a philosophical thought exercise does tend to um, require a degree of willingness to look outside what many would consider ordinarily logically. So while logic itself does play a great part in philosophy, as you're simply following things to their natural conclusions, getting there does require a bit of a leap of, um, a little bit of a spark of originality, I would say.
That makes sense. I must say, personally, I find the lack of emotion in the Vulcan way of thinking um, cold because, well, you feelings are what feeling things is like how we live. I would I could never live a life where I could not be happy or I could not feel joy or even anguish. It feels empty to me.
Indeed, it is said that the lows enrich us as much as the highs, for what is the highs without a proper base of comparison?
Exactly. What are your thoughts, Commander?
You there, Block?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, it's not so much that we do not feel emotion. It's as Frugan had said, we don't let it overtake us. We find that logic helps form a clearer picture.
Maybe.
And it's at that point that uh, Jedzao comes up to the front of uh, the shuttlecraft. She has her hair tied up in a neat little ponytail. I'd say similar to yours, Rugon, but hers is a bit shorter.
Teresa wears a ponytail too.
So many ponytails. Said, all right. Looks like we're about to make planetfall.
It's great. I feel cooped up spending so long in a shuttle.
Now, unfortunate. Okay. Thanks, Valak, for giving me that info.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So, well, unfortunately, the radiation in the, hang on, it's not, is it radiation? No, it's, well, unfortunately, the geomagnetic, nature of the forge is going to make landing difficult. We could try to land outside of the forge and then hike our way in, but that would take a couple of days.
Oh dear. Would anyone here happen to be a skilled helmsman? Because I certainly am not one.
It is not really my area of expertise as well.
Oh
I
god.
mainly fix the ships.
Oh god.
Oh dear. I think.
Oh god. None of you have a con over 1.
No, I have a con of 2.
Then you are actually the better person for this.
You're the best pilot. It is my lowest one.
Commander, are you sure I should fly? I have not flown a shuttlecraft since the academy.
Then you have flown a shuttlecraft sooner than I have.
Oh dear.
Now, I will allow an assist using the ship's. Hang on, because I'm gonna use something from another part of one of the books. Let me quickly pull it open so I have a good idea what this roll is gonna be. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. This will be a daring or control and con task, difficulty 2.
Okay, well,
I
my
will.
control con is 12.
So, what I will allow you to do is I will allow someone to make me a reason science difficulty 2, assisted by the shuttle's sensor science, to try to find you a good place to land, and that will lower the difficulty by 1.
Recent science is Rugan's expertise, I believe.
Yep, I would assume so as well.
Yep, difficulty 2, assisted by the shuttlecraft's sensors science, which I've got a few. Let me see what you guys have for shuttle. I'll use one of the Kismet's shuttles because those are fairly decent and well. More than anything, the Kismet shuttles are well statted. Not gonna be that.
So can I use focus sensors on this?
Yes, you can.
Alright.
I believe the official lore amount and size of the shuttles that supposedly fit in the Novus class hangar bay are way larger than could ever possibly fit inside of it.
You guys will be in a Type 8 shuttle.
Alright.
Okay.
Which has a crew complement of 1 or 2 plus 6 passengers. Furthermore, you have the rugged design talent, which makes the shuttle easier to repair.
Sounds handy enough.
So that's sensors, science.
He succeeded.
You don't get any momentum is the takeaway though. Okay, so the difficulty of this is a control con check, difficulty 1. Doctor, because fortunately Rugan has found you a good path through. I'll tell you once you make the roll.
Alright.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey, you get a momentum.
There you are. Good job.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than you remember. I mean, sure, maybe it's partially Rugon's plotting of landing sites that's helping, but no, you're pretty sure. Oh, and the shuttle should also be assisting with engines con. I forgot about that. I'll take care of that. Engines con. Oh, that's actually not awful. I mean, it's kind of awful, but ooh. I'm gonna take that as nope, I'm not gonna take that as threat.
Ouch.
This is a little too perfect.
Gotta
Um,
be a bumpy land.
yeah, well, you are gonna land. You are gonna land. That's not up for debate here.
I was gonna say that's guaranteed.
You are
The
guaranteed to
question
make.
is how well.
Yeah, it's more a.
Yeah, it's not my fault that the engines apparently broke or something.
Okay, that's 3 to the shields, which is enough for a breach. Um, hmm. I wasn't expecting to have to do this today.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna
we can
hang on.
roll the punches. Oh, sorry.
Gotta. Did I? Okay, that's fine. Um. So, Doctor, as you're coming in, it's very smooth, but then the whole thing jolts a bit to the side. Um. And actually, it would have taken out your shields even if I just realized it would have taken out your shields even if you had put them up. So you actually didn't have them up. So that causes a breach.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
A breach of what? The communication system?
Yep. So
Yep.
so as you're passing down, there's something that you weren't quite accounting for. You see this bright, glittering sand crash against the side of the shuttle. It almost looks like it's sand that's on fire.
I'm sorry. I tried to give us the smoothest landing I could have, but I didn't see that coming. Does anyone know what that is?
Someone want to give me a reason science difficulty 1 roll?
Forgot. Would you like to?
Okay, you gain a momentum, and you also gained a momentum from the landing, so you're at 2 momentum.
I was just keeping track.
Yes.
By the way,
And I'm gonna take some threat as well. I should be at 10 threat. If Jueza shows up, I'll take another 2. Rugan, you would recognize that as, I believe, something called sandfire, which is highly ionized sand. It's something that occurs quite regularly in Vulcan's Forge.
There's a reason we call it the Forge.
Yep. Uh, just want to confirm that that's what it's called. It is.
Yeah, Sandfire. It's what happens when there's a dust storm in Vulcan's Forge.
Yep, Sandfire.
Yep. We don't get regular sandstorms. We get fire sandstorms.
Yep.
Why do you think my family left Vulcan?
um, it is quite the logical and not very mystical name to call it just a fire sand.
Well, it is the Vulcans.
Yeah, I
Indeed.
guess that's fair, sir. Um, well, we landed and nobody died, so I guess I succeeded.
The communications are a bit damaged, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe the sand has damaged our communications array, however.
I
Well,
see.
well, you probably wouldn't have had much luck communicating out of the forge, anyways.
Yep. Uh, given given our location, that that is all right.
My
I'll
apologies, still,
I'll
Commander.
I'll I'll take care of it later.
I understand, sir. Well, Mel, we're here, so
Oh, one hell of a bumpy ride you brought us on, Doctor.
I tried my best. It's not my fault we didn't have a helmsman with us.
Oh, it's fine, Doctor. It's fine. Let's, I say we should start making our way towards the site. Even though we've managed to land ourselves in Vulcan's Forge, uh, from my readings, we're probably still about an hour and a half's hike out from the site. Oh, hang on, I have a, hang on, let me.
I believe as CMO, I get to take I forget exactly what it's called. It's like a first aid kit with me for free.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that
Yep.
contains water rations.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we can probably stock up with what we can from the shuttle too. They usually have stuff for crash landings.
Yeah, and this isn't even a crash landing.
Exactly.
This is we've made a landing and now we need a couple hours of.
Yep. I suggest we take what we can here. An hour and a half in the forge is, from what I understand, so quite grueling.
Yes, sir. Oh shoot, my mind just blanked. Yes, sir. I I always carry water rations with me, sir. Don't hesitate to ask. Dehydration is a real threat in a place like this.
So here's how I think I'm gonna roll this. This is going to be an extended task. Um, Either fitness security or fitness medicine. I'm gonna nix the medicine. Just fitness security. Uh, difficult.
Don't you hate me?
Fitness security, difficulty of 3, magnitude 3, work track 10,
Okay.
and resistance of 2. And but you all can one person leads, the rest can assist. So you can have multiple people assisting on this one.
Gotcha.
And if anyone also if anyone has a suggestion for anything else that might help in navigating to this new location, I will also accept suggestions.
I have xenoanthropology, but I don't think that helps in this case.
No, I think he meant different disciplines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
yeah. I think actually in retrospect, I think I will allow Doctor you to give me I will allow you to do the fitness medicine role as you're giving out the rations. But it's still fitness because you have to walk as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
My fitness medicine is 12. I don't know what you two have.
Mine's gonna be 10 either way. So.
And Rugan, you there?
Yep. Did we lose him again?
Again. Oh, let me check his sheet.
Tried to
Oh, started to come in, but Not quite.
I heard a thing.
Testing, when anybody hear me? Testing,
Yes.
anybody hear
There
me?
we
Yeah,
go.
now
You're
we
here.
can hear
You
you.
got it.
Sorry, my internet just went absolutely to shite for about 10 seconds or so.
Okay.
Right.
So it's fitness. It is fitness security. Now, I will say, doctor, because I'm letting you use your medicine for this, you will have to assist though. This can't be the main role.
Okay. Then it's Rugan's role because he has 12.
Rugan, you are leading this charge.
Yep, fitness security.
Oh, goody.
Yep, fitness security, difficulty 3.
You grew up on the planet, right? It should be fine.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's a hardy Klingon.
Yeah, I grew up on Earth, so I can trek around in Death Valley.
There's
Nice.
that.
Okay. And
And we both roll to assist.
yep.
And that's a success. Good job.
And Vlok.
And that's our momentum.
Yep. So roll me 5 challenge dice. Rugan.
Rugan.
As you are leading the away team through this, through the harsh desert.
No, I see an awful lot of water in this desert.
Shh.
Quiet.
That's
That's a mirage.
It's liquid nitrogen.
That's 4 brought down to 2. That's 2 work. Because there's 2 resistance. So you could spend 2 momentum to bring it up to 5 by countering the resistance and an extra work.
Alright, should I just spend my 2 momentum then?
Go for it.
Alright, how do you delete the thing?
You just drag it. You click it and drag them into the. Yeah,
There we go.
there you go. Then just delete them.
Cool.
All right. So we got some work done. We've trekked along.
Yeah, we sure are trekking.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Come
But
on,
you're-
we're hiking here. Come on.
But you're not Star Trekking.
Yeah,
We're
I
desert
don't know if
trekking.
we have. Yeah, I don't know if we have EVA suits powerful enough to Star Trek.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
so the so that is a breakthrough. It brings the difficulty down to 2.
Yay.
So far, so good. Now just do it again.
Oh, okay. How many times do we have to do this?
Until you get 3 breakthroughs. If you get another 5 work done on this, you'll complete it. Oh my god.
Rugan,
And we're gone. All you need is 1 success, mate.
are you there?
Holy
mate?
hell! I'm doing
Alright.
great.
Just 1 success.
Well, hey, Vlok, this is you're even though you didn't grow up here on Vulcan, your body is predisposed to the harsh.
Oh yeah, it's plus. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole Vulcan rite of passage.
Oh my god.
Never mind.
Should we just spend our last momentum to counter that?
That's,
Yes.
yikes. Okay, so
we backtracked.
yeah, because here's the thing that you can't none of those successes count because
Yep.
Rigon didn't get
Didn't
any.
Get one. Handy complicated.
Now, actually, going forward, I will say, just for the sake of this, because I like this, Valak, you can any future rolls you make on this, I will let you have a focus
A focus.
representing your Vulcan trait.
I will take it. Thank you.
Alright. So, can we just roll again? 'Cause
Yep.
I don't want to sit here waiting all
Yep.
day. Alright.
some reason, this hour and a half long hike is taking way longer than an hour and a
Oh
half.
my god.
Again,
Ragon, you
we're
want
all
to...
really, really bad at this. We're all
Okay,
really bad at this. The
so...
first one was a fluke.
Alright, can we just roll again?
Yep. It's just how long it's taken you. Okay.
Again, I've not got a good score at this.
Yes, it's gonna take
Hey,
a while.
use a momentum,
And-
but it's on the house.
Yeah,
We used it all.
yeah, he used it all. And
Okay.
Valak, I need one more out of you. Oh, or no, sorry, not Valak. Doctor, I need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
took a second.
and you're gonna have to do it again because you still haven't. And yes, I am actually keeping track of how many times it's taking you to do this because it does matter.
It, Lieutenant Mel, do you know where we're going? Because I feel like we've passed by that same rock like 5 times now.
Oh no, I'm sure you're imagining it. It was at least 7. Okay, so that's a momentum gained.
And we made some progress.
Rugon, roll 5. That's 1 work, unless you want to spend a momentum to.
We spent all of our momentum.
But you gained 1.
We just got 1 back.
Oh,
The question
Yeah.
is, do we spend it now or do we use it for more rolls?
just spend it now so we get more work done.
Okay, so that you're at 8 work.
And how many do we need? 10?
Yeah, 10. 10 to complete the track.
Alright, let's try one more time.
Okay, that is a success. And Valak? Okay, you do get it. Roll, Rugon.
I did.
No, the challenge dice. Okay, that's 3 works. So that's another breakthrough.
Hey!
You're now you only need 1 success in order to beat the task.
But didn't we just win?
No, because
Oh.
you need to get 5. Because what would have gotten you the 2 breakthroughs would have been if you had gotten 5 in 1 roll and filled the work track at the same time.
Okay.
So you'll probably get it on this roll. This is also just sort of to see how much momentum you generate.
Notice the probably put in there. Please generate momentum.
Oh dear, what am I gonna do with this? Because there are complications I can put on the work track.
Yep.
Please don't. Also, Rugar, we need your roll.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay. So you have 2 momentum.
And we're gonna spend 1.
Yeah.
And we're gonna spend 1 to get rid of that complication.
It's
2.
isn't it?
So what I'm gonna do with this, that complication, the resistance increases by 2 again. So you're at 4 resistance.
Oh. Alright. So did we succeed?
Roll the 5.
All right, Rugan. You can do this.
Okay, so actually, all you're gonna need to do is spend that momentum to get rid of 2 of that, because the good news is, getting more work done once you've already completed the work track gives you a breakthrough.
Let's do it.
So,
we can
Does
stop
that let us
hiking.
finish with this?
because you were off to a great start there, and then you remembered why this place is so feared, because it is so easy to get turned around in this desert.
None of us have anything remotely resembling the stats needed to confront this challenge.
I thought having 3 of you rolling at this would be enough, but I guess not.
You're the one who made it difficulty 4.
It was only difficulty 3, and you guys got it the first time.
Yeah, we did great the first time.
Oh boy.
So, as you guys crest a hill and the sun is starting to get low in the sky, because you thought it was going to take you an hour and a half. No, this walk took you 5 hours.
Oh my god.
As
Are
you
we almost there yet?
you are there,
Oh, thank god.
as you see these.
We've arrived, Doctor.
No, duh.
Yeah, Teresa has fitness of 7. She is not the strongest, or she does not have a very strong constitution for 5-hour walks.
I beat someone in
thank God.
fitness.
Oh, thank God.
And yeah, as you walk towards these ruins, you see what looks like a small camp has been set up. I say small. I mean, there are probably
Is there supposed to be an image? Because mine is
there
blank.
um
Yeah, we got more desert with some nice old-looking building tower things. And
Hold on. I'll
yeah
try and reload.
yeah that's okay. So it's not that I did something screwy.
no, we're
It's
good.
my
Yeah.
end.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna find the nearest camp building and try and ask for water.
hmm And yeah, and Jed Zarmel goes along with you, and she says, yes, I'm Jed Zarmel. I'm here with some of my associates. You called for us? She said, oh, yes, Mel from the Annings Archaeological Department. Yes, we've been expecting you. We figured you'd be here a few hours earlier. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we got a little turned around walking through the forge. And standing before you, Doctor, is, sort of in this central hut that's been erected. It's not a tent. It's a mere tent wouldn't do anything to help you guys out here in the forge. So there are these actually slightly more, I'd call them semi-permanent structures. They're not made of wood. They're made of a more like artificial material. But if you've ever seen like an old cottage, and just how like how thin walled an old cottage is.
I know what you're talking about. Do you have any water?
Yes, plenty. We've brought in enough rations to keep the expedition running 3 times over. And you see standing behind the desk it's not a Vulcan, interestingly enough.
Oh, yeah. Who is it that we're talking to?
You are talking to I just gotta find the race because I really like them. I really like the way they look. Oh shoot, where's the other book? Other book. This one. It's just because I gotta properly describe this to you. Looking up, you see a figure with a big big bald head. It's with 2 lobes to it. The most striking feature, however, is that this figure is wearing a mask that covers his eyes and his mouth, and it has these 2 little tubes that spiral off of it into these two cylinders up where his shoulders are.
You merely adopted the forge. I was born in it, molded by it.
No,
I didn't see water
no,
until I was already a man.
no.
By the time I saw him drink, I was already
Do
a
you have
man.
a name? Because I have no idea what you're trying to say. Can I just look it up to find a picture?
Yeah, I'll find you a picture.
Yeah, I'm
No,
trying to
just tell me his name and
Yes,
I'll
of
look it up.
course.
Zeronite.
Yes, by the time I saw the water, I was already a man.
By the time I saw the water, I was already a man. Great.
How do you
I
spell
was
that?
born in the desert, molded by it.
Oh my god.
Zaranite.
Oh,
You might have to
alright.
you might have to click on the images thing to see what they look like with the
Yeah.
masks on.
They look like an alien you'd see in like the Mos Eisley Cantina of Star Wars. They look cool.
Yeah,
That kind of that sounds about right.
yeah.
Um,
For those who don't,
yeah, I'm snapping it. I'm dropping the picture.
yeah, just,
Beat me to it.
yeah.
Yes. Do you have any water?
Plenty. We've been prepared for this. It's this is going to be quite the long expedition, but we've brought enough water for a trip and a half.
Could I have some?
Of course. And he goes over and he takes a small little canister, not incredibly unlike the one that's hooked up to his respirator, and he goes over to a small tap, clicks it in, flips a switch, and you hear a light. He clicks it off, and he hands it over to you. Drink up.
Thank you. And and I am Teresa Mastelli, CMO of the Hadfield. These are my two associates, Lieutenant Commander Valak and Lieutenant Rugan.
Ah, very well. I am Ryan. I am the quartermaster of this expedition.
It is interesting to find you leading this expedition.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Might
whoa,
I
whoa,
ask
no,
why?
no, no, no. I am not the leader, as I said. I'm the quartermaster. I'm the one making sure that all the gear is kept in proper order. There's a lot of stuff that they had to get brought in from Outworld for this one.
I see. And why exactly have we been summoned?
Oh, don't ask me. You don't want to talk to the, you don't want to talk to the doc over there. And he jerks a thumb over his shoulder at a a group of three Vulcans who are talking to each other.
Valak, I, I, I believe you would be the best at initiating discussions with the Vulcans, as you are one of them yourself.
Very well, Doctor. And I'll walk over that way. Excuse me, I'm looking for the leader of this expedition.
That would be me. Uh, you have found him. One of the Vulcans looks at you. He has these very angular features, um, a with black, short-cut black hair that comes down into a little bit of a peak above his brow. It's clear he has some years on him, though. He looks quite experienced. I am Dr. Prosek. I am the overseer of this expedition. Might I inquire as to your identity?
Lieutenant Commander Valak, USS Hadfield.
Interesting. You, and he looks, he's looking through his documentation. You were not in any of the planned arrivals. How did you? And at this point, Jedzao Mel comes forward and says, Doctor, no, he is one of my guests. I have brought these three along with me for the trip. Ah, Mel, it is fine to see. It is agreeable to see you.
Well,
Wonderful. Now that we are finally here, can we please learn more about this expedition?
Well, if Mel vouches for your if Mel vouches for your credentials, I believe that I have no reason uh, to doubt you. If you would all follow me,
Yeah, let's do it.
and he leads you through a couple corridors of this. Again, it's made out of this thin material, but it's somewhat expansive, and he leads you into a room that appears to have a small. As you've been walking around, you've been noticing all of these little micro generators that seem to be just sort of generally powering this whole place.
Mhm.
Um, Fortunately, things like lights don't take up a lot of energy, but in this next room you go into, you see something that must clearly be taking a decent amount of power to run. Um, there's a big table with a holographic projection of the dig site.
Huh. Well, this is expansive.
Mm. It is. We aren't 100% certain, but we are not 100% certain about our findings so far. But the preliminary results have been promising.
And what exactly are the results?
We believe that this site may in fact date back to the time of the awakening.
Intriguing.
You will have to forgive me. I am not well versed on Vulcan history. What was the awakening?
I will let one of the others describe that.
um, Doctor, it is the time in which Vulcans fully embraced logic, the teachings of Sirach.
And I mean, Doctor, even you know the name
Yeah,
Sirach. He's like, to the Vulcans, he's Jesus.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I recognize the name. Oh, yes, sir. Um, I assume that these relics, dig sites dating back this old, are not common.
Oh, well, here in the Forge, there are a few that we know of. However, it has been a while since one has been discovered, and the information that could possibly be gleaned within might make this site one of the largest archaeological finds of the century. And as you know, saying that is no exaggeration.
Oh, sir, I would trust you to not exaggerate things.
Very well. As things stand, there are a number of locations that need to be properly examined before we can determine whether or not this is a time of awakening site. So far, progress has been slow, of course, given our location.
That makes sense.
Hold on a
Perhaps.
moment. Hold on a moment, guys.
Okay.
Can I? Oh, bunkhouse. The bunkhouse. Okay, yeah. Uh, Guys, I will be right back. Give me a couple minutes. Feel free to talk among yourselves in the meantime.
What's in the car?
He left us.
He's not back
I'm
in
like a
15
fire.
minutes. We are allowed to
You
leave.
make sure that one little fire.
Well, that's usually my joke.
I beat you to it.
I'm sorry this episode has been so focused on the three of us.
I don't mind.
Oh, just wait.
I'll open the door for you.
Wait.
Oh yeah, go ahead and do that, and then some weird thing's gonna happen, and you're gonna have to come and rescue us. Come on.
Yeah.
There
Calling
is
you right
never
now,
surely.
Yeah, whoever that was, I'm calling you right now. Guys, whoever that was who wasn't on the guest list is a spy of some variety, some kind of saboteur or something.
No, we were the ones not on the guest list.
We're the ones that are that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It was us the whole time.
But he described the peaked forehead.
My usual amount of time.
The fact that like comes down to a point behind his brows. Isn't that much more of a Romulan haircut than it is a Vulcan haircut?
They're kind of a mixed bag type of deal.
Yeah, it's like a thousand years of separation, and they didn't evolve different hairstyles.
It's genetics, you know.
Not really, no.
Turns out the good old bowl cut is universal.
I don't know why, but
You thought the unexpected visitor would be a Romulan, but it was I, Dio. So,
Oh, deal.
Home.
Kono Dioda. Hold on a second.
I will be back in 1 second.
Oh, look at the Kuno.
Oh my dear.
Sorry about that. Where was I? Okay. Where were we? You guys were looking over the holographic map of the, looking over the holographic map. Guys, you there?
Yep.
You were back in
We're
15
looking-
minutes, so we were legally allowed to.
I hate you all.
we're looking at the map, and
Yes.
sorry, I'm trying to.
Cur-
There we go.
Currently, we have a number of questions that need to immediately be answered. The time period that this site is from, and of course, the site's purpose. There are a number of working theories, whether this be a place of worship, or perhaps even a tomb.
Well, I'm not much of an archaeologist. I am an engineer. Is there anything that I can help you with there that might expedite your process?
Well, we do have a small engineering team that is keeping all of our archaeological equipment in working order. It might not be what you are used to as working on a Starfleet starship, but any assistance you could render in that capacity would be welcome.
Very well. Doctor, Lieutenant, I believe I shall attempt to, lend a hand?
That is the phrase, sir.
Very well. Perhaps we can expedite this process for them.
Yeah. Sir, I am while my knowledge of Vulcan history is far from adequate for this task, I am a xenobiologist. So if this is a tomb and we do find mummified remains, I might be able to help in examining them.
That would be agreeable. If this does turn out to be a tomb, your expertise could prove useful.
You wouldn't happen to have any medical problems I could assist with among the crew?
Fortunately not, Doctor.
That is good news.
And he turns to face the last of you. And what of you? A Klingon is the last person who we expected to be at a site such as this.
Indeed, so it would seem. I do believe they believe that I would be of use, however.
And he turns to Jed Zhao-Mel. Far be it from me to question your your eye for talent, Mel, but are you absolutely certain? And Mel just sort of shrugs and says, well, if Dr. Maselli says that he's trustworthy, I'm with her. And the Vulcan says, while I do not necessarily enjoy such wide degrees of separation in terms of trusting credentials, I will allow it in this instance.
Excuse me, sir? You would not trust a Starfleet officer just because of his race?
Hang on a second. Just hang on a sec.
That man done goofed.
Mm.
No, it's there's background noise that I'm trying to settle down.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying that man done goofed. Doctor's gonna get him.
That was not my intention, Doctor. I wish to make it merely known to you that I like to have a certain amount of control over the people who work on my dig sites. This is a very prestigious opportunity.
So you imply, do you find you have more control over me or Commander Valak than Rugan because he is Klingon?
That assessment is not entirely inaccurate, Doctor. I ask that you conduct yourself with an amount of respect while you are on this dig site.
Respect is to use a human phrase, sir, respect is a two-way street. You cannot ask for respect of us while disrespecting one of my fellow colleagues. Lieutenant Ugan, do you have any disciplinary marks on your record?
None, Lieutenant.
I believe that is all the evidence you need to know that you can trust him as much as you could trust any of us.
And honestly, Doctor, the moment you say that, he nods. Very well. Understood.
Just like that?
We're Vulcans, so
Yeah, Teresa looks surprised, but she's just gonna nod and say, okay then.
I'm not used to logical and reasoned arguments working.
It's, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's great.
That was great.
Now,
It's just it worked because we're the place that it does.
yes. Now, it is my understanding that you have walked a long way to get here, and given that it is approaching the end of the day, you may want to get some rest.
Indeed, it may be wise to get some. It may be wise to sleep before we get to work proper.
And he turns to one of the two Vulcans he was working with. There are two, a young man and a young woman. Young Vulcan male and a young Vulcan female. He turns to the male and he says, "To Pym, will you show them to the sleeping areas?"
Yeah, he's young, so he's only like, 60 years old.
Probably in his like 40s.
Mm.
He has these very smooth features, kind of a roundish face, actually, kind of odd for a Vulcan, not as common for a Vulcan.
Well, I'm not gonna judge, especially as I went on a rant against Leader about not judging people based on their appearances.
Mm-hmm. And the Vulcan nods. He says, "If you will all follow me."
Let's follow.
And so we shall.
And so he leads you off to your rooms, and you all sort of settle in for the night. And you are all preparing to go on quite the expedition, searching for hidden hidden secrets of Vulcan's long lost past. Meanwhile, we are going to be joining the crew of the Hadfield. Captain Jacoby, take us away.
Oh, right, those guys exist.
Well, we exist. Holy Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. What did you want me to say? You gave me a date, but nothing besides.
Yeah, okay, if you have nothing to specifically say,
I mean, do we know that we're gonna rendezvous with them?
yeah, you know that it's currently you're close to your departure from Starbase.
Okay, good, that's all I need to know. Captain's log, stardate 54309.7. We are soon to be departing from Sol space station, and we will soon be rejoining our crew on Vulcan. I am very anxious to find out what they have discovered in these archaeological ruins. However, we shall find out soon enough. We are currently preparing to leave soon.
Very well. Juweza, I'm about to send you something because Juweza's here now.
Hey, sorry, I'm so late.
Yep, you're fine. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Like the first like hour and 15 minutes was a scene that you weren't even a part of.
It was us. It was the folks on Vulcan failing to walk through a desert.
For like 20 minutes. It was great.
For some reason, he gives the doctor, the science officer, and the engineer the gigantic, important security con task.
It was great. It was awesome. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, now in turn you have to make Juesa sell a first contact mission and make the captain perform like open heart surgery. It's only fair.
Nice.
I make first contact with my rifle.
I was gonna say, yeah, someone's gonna get shot, and someone's gonna need a new heart.
So before we get into the stuff that the regular stuff that the mission is going to entail, Tizonin, you want to work on your thing?
To the engine room.
To the engine room. Yep. Unfortunately, you don't have any momentum, which I kind of thought you guys would have. Oops.
Well, it's a scene change
Sorry.
anyways.
Oops.
Sorry.
No.
And yeah,
and I'm not there to help either.
Nope. So, that then brings up the question, Valak, do you have the proper information about the extended task? Because we didn't last time, and it was a mess.
Oh, you didn't do any last time?
We did, well, actually, the Zonin failed the roll, so it didn't even matter. But we wanted to know where we were at.
Gotcha. So, let's see.
Because we haven't made any progress since the last time we did this.
Difficulty 3, work track 15, resistance 2, we've got 7 work done.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're trucking.
Wait! Didn't you complicate last time to zone in? And I took away 4 work, I think.
Took away 4 work last time?
Didn't I do that?
Yikes.
I think I did that last time.
I mean, if you can't confirm
Yeah,
it,
you
it's
called
a bit
it
unfair to
a
take the
dead
blame.
end or something like that.
Huh?
You called it a dead end.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that did happen.
Awesome.
No, I specifically remember using the dead end thing last week somewhere.
So we're at 3 then now.
Yep.
It's going great. Did you work on the phaser with Kiji?
He finished. In fact, what he basically made is he made a variation of the phaser rifle that essentially functions like a disruptor rifle.
Damn.
And it's something the trade-off is that it only does that. It doesn't have any of the other charge abilities that the phaser rifle has, but in
None of the
exchange,
fancy settings. But
yeah, none of the fancy settings, but the thing is he doesn't have to use the charge minor action to do it.
Cool. Cool.
So it's an alternative variation of his phaser rifle that he can use, that he can bring on a mission, but he has to tell me in advance which one he's bringing.
Out of curiosity, can I like write down the blueprints so that should I lose the rifle, I could make another one?
Oh yeah, so for sure, that's
Absolutely.
that's easy. Yeah,
That's
that,
why we still keep everything. Like
yeah, well
got my
that's
nice
well,
sloppy stuff.
and that's part of the R&D process. You've been making blueprints the whole way. Like that's part of research and development is making these blueprints. So you're fine.
Great. Yep. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like if I lost it, it was over.
No. This is the same thing when you guys built the special neural what's it?
The zombie device.
Yeah, when you refurbished those into a proper neural device. Those blueprints exist now. You can pull those blueprints back up.
Cool. Oh, by the way, did anyone on your ship notice any missing trinkets?
Uh-oh. Oh, we didn't even get to that. Because I think that's a couple days later in the timeline from where the Kismet is currently at.
Okay, just thought I'd check.
Yeah, things on the Kismet are kind of jam-packed right now. Ooh, boy. So, in that, anyways, give me that roll, to Zonin, and the ship's computers engineering will help.
What was the roll?
I think in your case it's Reason Con,
Yes.
because you have the special flight controller ability.
There you go.
That's 2 successes. And Captain, you want to roll the ship?
Come on, chip.
Yes, I do. What do I roll? Computers engineering.
Uh-huh.
Coming up.
Right back.
Ooh, that's a no.
So no work done.
Yep. And I know it seems like you guys are going slow on this, but honestly, that's how engine development is supposed to be.
I mean, yeah, we're trying to radically change some warp fields.
Yeah, you're trying to make some kind of actual development on warp field technology. That stuff is usually that takes teams of engineers months to do. And you guys are just trying to do it in the back of your garage, so to speak, with your own home-built nuclear reactor.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so nothing on it this week. Let me see who's on the bridge. Jueza as well is on the bridge, I believe.
I don't think he wants us to upgrade the engines.
No, I'm fine with you guys upgrading the engines. Just gotta roll better. Love you guys.
We need to actually give them momentum and not use it all in the desert.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of on us there. Like this.
I can't. Yeah. And I'll throw Bisbee over here at science. I think Okay, so it's oh shoot, I totally forgot about this. We'll do it. We'll do it at the end of the game, I think. We need to have a discussion about ship upgrades because both Rugan and Volok expressed interest in upgrading the ship.
Oh, yes, I had already put mine on the Hadfield's sheet.
Oh, and did you note down what it was in the sheet?
Yes. Oh, not in the sheet, but I can do that. It just gives you it gives us an extra momentum when we do sensors outside of combat.
Oh, you picked up the high resolution sensors. Okay.
Yep. So when Rugan fires up sensors, it's just gonna be ridiculous.
And now I have a focus in it.
Yeah, and now he has a focus in it, guys.
It's gonna be great.
Our ship has exactly one gimmick, and we are working it to the fucking hill. Much to our GM's exasperation.
Yep. Okay. Hang on. There you go, Joeza. You get a ping on your the comms channel.
Okay, back.
Sir, we're getting a communication from Starbase 1, Priority 2, Captain's eyes only.
I see. In my office, please.
Right. Then accidentally put it on main VR. Whoops.
Mm-hmm. Nope. So gonna head into the conference room then. Not conference room. Ready room.
Yeah, ready room.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. So you sit down and tap the terminal, and an admiral appears on your screen. Apparently a rear admiral.
Admiral, sir, how can I help?
I assume I'm speaking to Captain Lawrence Jacoby.
Very same, sir.
All right. I am also under the correct assumption that upon your departure from Starbase 1, you are proceeding to Vulcan to pick up some of your crew members following their shore leave?
Yes, sir.
Understood. Well, uh, according to my readings, you are setting yourself to go at a slower warp to get there in a few days. Is that correct?
Is the plan right now, sir? I haven't exactly given it much thought with my engine crew, but if they have decided that is the best course, then I shall follow their advice.
Well, I'm going to need you to step that up. I'm going to
Any
need.
particular reason, sir?
There's been an incident on Vulcan, and we want the Hadfield to look into it. I inquired as to some names of crews who might be able to help in this delicate matter, and well, yours came up.
I see. And what exactly is delicate, sir?
To be blunt, Captain, there's been a murder.
I see. On Vulcan itself, the city.
Correct. In fact, I have the name of the city. It's the big old Vulcan capital.
Kronos.
No. The Vulcan capital city. It's
New Kronos.
New Kronos.
Yeah, it's Vulcan of the planet Vulcan.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's Vulcan. It's Vulcan.
No, it.
Vulcan.
No, a murder in the Vulcan capital of Shikar. Now, normally we don't involve ourselves. Normally, Starfleet doesn't involve themselves in civilian affairs like this, but this instance is special.
I see. And who exactly has been killed?
A Vulcan ambassador, a Vulcan by the name of Vitesk.
I see. Well, I understand, Rear Admiral. If you would be so kind as to have one of your secretaries forward the briefing to my ready room, and I will handle everything else with the crew, and I'll tell the engine room to step it up.
Very good. Now understand there are some things about this matter that we cannot tell you up front. However, if in your investigation it becomes clear that certain pieces of information become need to know, you will be allowed to know.
I see. Keep in mind, Admiral, that if information should arise which I need to know, and in case I don't know it, it impedes with the investigation, we are going to have to think of a workaround.
It is understood. However, be aware that this ambassador's death has raised some unfortunate questions in regards to certain members of Starfleet command staff. I can't give names right now, but some people might be in some very serious trouble depending on what your investigation turns up.
I see, Rear Admiral. Don't worry. I'll see if I can take Captain Jacoby out.
Yeah, it's not Starfleet if the admirals are either highly incompetent or actually evil.
Captain Jacoby to engine room. Step up our warp speed to warp 8. Get us to Vulcan quicker.
Mm-hmm. So, in fact, that's, who would be in engine room right now? Oh, Biss.
I was gonna say Biss is probably the one in command right now.
Hi, Captain. We'll have us underway as soon as possible.
Good. Crew, prepare for murder investigation.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've had one of these.
You could say that.
In fact, this is where you guys were here last time you had one of these.
Our first one, was a murder.
Well,
No, second.
this is that was your second murder mystery.
First one we got captured by Orions.
Well, no, first murder mystery was the one with Varro.
Brain slugs.
And then there was
Yep.
the one where Ensign Bess proceeded to walk in and eliminate an entire crew of Orions with his bare hands.
There you go.
That
That's
was
one too.
that was a murder. That was a straight up murder.
There was no mystery. It was simply Bess.
Hey, that's racist.
Yep. So, you guys prepare to warp out, and come on, Ed's most used sound effects. Thank you.
Beep boop.
Should we flush out? Because it is weird that the bridge only has 4 people on it.
There are other unnamed NPCs on the bridge right now. There's someone at tactical, there's someone at operations. I just don't have the things for it right this second.
It is weird that everyone gets a chair aside from Juesa. Is that like bias against security officers that he's the one?
Oh, actually, that's actually not security. That's the auxiliary console.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's because I'm Bajoran.
I've had you at the wrong place the whole time. You should be here.
Oh.
We do things differently on the Hadfield. I'm like never there. Like.
Jueza feels awkward as he walks over to. It's like I've been staying in the wrong place this whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
used to sit in the exit chair.
Well, the auxiliary console can be used pretty much for whatever. Oh, and you're also in the wrong seat, Captain. That's the captain's chair.
There you go.
Oh, that's just embarrassing.
Hey, put me in the captain's chair.
Oh dear. So yeah, you guys are making warp 8 towards Vulcan.
So is Sorry to keep wasting time, but is this spot what operations then?
On the other side from... Yeah,
This one.
there's a nifty little map in the upper right-hand corner that actually tells you what's
Oh.
what.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So, Captain, I have to say, kudos on winning that challenge at the Starbase.
Why, thank you. Thank you, Chief.
I knew you had it
Thank
in
you,
sir.
thank you for telling me about it. Otherwise, the evening would have been left very dry.
Yes, we wouldn't want you to be dry, sir.
No, Chief, we don't.
And, sir, I was truly devastated that you didn't believe me
Oh,
on such
spare
a
me.
critical matter.
Spare me, Chief. Next time you steal a figurine from the Kismet, I'm telling on you to Captain Grennan.
That's alright. I know this girl. She's, one of those cat people. Everything will be fine.
Lieutenant Zonin, how far away from Vulcan are we?
It's about a ways over there.
I'd
see.
say...
Computer, can I get an estimate?
Like 7 light years or something. I don't know.
Yeah, let me look at the... Actually, because someone just put up a warp map, a warp thing
They did?
just recently, didn't they?
I think
Yeah.
Shh. We move at the speed of plot.
Yeah, but I'm still curious because the captain specified.
Right.
Vulcan was like Epsilon Enduri or something.
Mhm.
Computer, specify itsy bitsy time.
Yeah, to nearby star. Hang on. Warp factor 8. Oh, actually, this works. This works pretty well. Actually, this is 2 days,
2 days.
40 Enduri. Aerodynamic.
which is kind of what I wanted it to be anyway. So that really works.
16 light years. Close. Only, 9 light years off.
2 days. Well, thank you, computer. Guess we got some preparation to do. Apparently, there's been a murder, as I'm sure I've already and a high-ranking ambassador has been killed. Any ideas, Chief?
Not until I get more information, sir.
Well, start working on some theories. I can't work without theories.
Yes, sir. Working on theories. Boop, 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 boop.
Working on theories. Do.
Good. I will be in the mess hall should you need me. Lieutenant Zonin, you have the bridge.
Oh no.
Yay.
Oh no.
He's the most senior one.
Yeah.
Let's boogie.
Actually,
He
is
legit is. Legit.
Oh
is.
yeah, because Bisbee is not.
Nope.
The Lieutenant Rothrak is a full grade
She
lieutenant.
is in the
Yeah,
is
she's
in
a nurse practitioner.
Yeah,
So
medical personnel can't do command like that.
Yeah, unless they get a license like Deanna Troy did.
Or unless they activate the EMH, or ECH, I should say.
Yeah. So, the
It's weird how underranked and young our whole staff is.
Yeah.
But
Yikes.
Joyce is not young.
Stuffle up.
Neither am I.
Joyce is just a crewman, so he can't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of crewmen.
So back then, so while the others are en route to Vulcan, we cut back to Vulcan. And it is the beginning of the day. So you guys all get up a couple hours before dawn even breaks, because you know that that you want to be ready to start going as soon as the sun starts to come up, because from the moment the sun starts to come up and you have some daylight to work with, it's going to be a race against time until the sand and the heat become unbearable.
Okay.
You don't say. If only we'd had some kind of experience to let.
All right. So, I guess we should just go talk to the leader, and figure out what he wants us to do.
Mhm. Well, we have managed to pinpoint an area over here, and he points to here on the map, that's been that has been promising in our reading so far. We would like you to take a look at this area.
Yes, sir. By you, do you mean all of us?
Well, you are, you are, you are Lieutenant Mel's team, are you not?
Very well.
Yes, we are. You didn't specify.
I thought it went without saying. Very well. Yes, Mel's team shall examine this area. And so, with the breaking sun coming over the horizon, you all get to work.
Workity work.
Workity work, work, work. I am going to need. I'm gonna make this insight science. This is gonna. Oh my god, what is with that? Who is disconnecting something like a million times?
Don't look at me. I'm on mobile.
Yeah, same here.
I think that's you, Miss Ellie. Let me see.
I'm sorry, I cut out for a second because my microphone is broken.
Yeah, that's what
No,
that was.
Oh,
Yes,
did you hear that? I'm
we can
sorry.
Yeah,
No worries.
multiple
No worries.
times. It's
sorry.
fine. No, it's fine.
My
You're
mou-
fine.
Yeah, my mouse is disconnected. I can't get it to work again.
Oof.
Sad days.
All right. I'll just mute. I will mute myself. I'll try and fix it. Could you just explain what I missed?
Yes, so they've assigned you to an area, and you are about to, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, dig in.
Yeah. Okay, let's dig in.
So, for starters, this is going to require some, using some of the equipment they have here, this is going to require an insight science, difficulty 3 roll, and I will allow an assist.
Alright then.
Because
I was
my
gonna
mouse
say.
is broken, I cannot do anything yet until I try and fix it.
Okay, so I
So,
shall assist.
Alright then. Now, have I
Yeah.
seen these machines before?
Yeah, you're familiar with this kind of equipment. It's scanning equipment.
Alright,
It's
fair
it
enough.
is it is not sensor systems, Rugan.
No.
Okay.
Rugan, I was going to say, well, Rugan has a background in archaeology, so it makes sense.
There you go.
But you don't have a focus in it, so.
Nope, I do not.
So,
Here's an elective, sue me.
All right.
Oops, sorry, the site just crashed on me and it's reloading.
lovely.
We're just having a wonderful time, aren't we?
Alright, there we are, and loaded back into the thing. Come on now and give acid go. Oh, nope. Come on.
Mhm.
Come on. No. There we are. Okay. It just wouldn't open that fucking thing. Alright, so insight science here we come. Insight and science. Can I use computer's focus?
No.
Okay.
And Vlok. It's only one. Did I say it was difficulty 2 or difficulty 3?
I believe too, but
Ah, there we go.
Here.
Oh, wow. That does it. I'm counting that first roll you made, Rugan.
Yes, that's entirely fair. It just didn't work right. My
Yep.
thing was just working, so I just
Yep,
kept tapping the button until it.
but fortunately, Vlok helps.
Excellent.
He
I'm sorry. I think my mouse is just done for. I'm
Here,
not
do you
sure
have a
how to
mobile
proceed.
phone?
I am.
we can we could
I'm sorry. You should just continue.
yeah, we could just roll your sheet for you if you want.
yep.
Um let me see so yeah, that does it. Yeah, you are picking up what might be some kind of a mosaic underneath the sand. But
Lieutenant, are you getting these readings?
Indeed, I believe so.
Well,
and don't
let's
forget,
go ahead.
you do have intense scrutiny, Rugan. Which, if I'm not
That's right, I do.
which, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, gives you a free question.
Yay. Alright then. What the fuck am I looking at?
That's
Uh,
a good one.
The
Are you
mosaic.
sure that's what intense scrutiny does? I thought that's what studious did.
Oh no, never mind. Intense scrutiny is an extended task talent.
Ah, bugger.
Sorry.
Oh well. No. You're playing by the rules, and that is good. Now we got to do science to figure this bitch out now.
Yeah.
But wait, I think it was just because wasn't it because I'm a science officer I get a free question though?
Oh.
Yeah, science officers, I believe, get.
Yeah, I think you do, however, get a free question anyway. So.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with the good old fashioned what the actual fuck am I looking at with these readings?
Okay. You might need to be a little more specific. As I said, it's a mosaic.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright. Oh boy, once again. Does it look like there's any kind of power signature?
No. No, this is not powered.
Yeah, alright, that was a reasonable thing, so it's nothing scientifically buried. So whatever, not that.
Well, I suppose we shall let them know what we found. I'm sure their crews would love to uncover such a piece.
So yeah, you inform some of the dig crews, and they actually ask for your assistance in operating uh, the sonic drills that'll allow them to carefully brush away uh, the upper layers of sand.
Oh God, we're gonna break a mosaic, aren't we?
Give me a control engineering
Alright,
difficulty.
you're better for that.
Control engineering difficulty of 3, and I'll allow an assist. And I am spending a threat to increase the complication range by 1.
Okay. I will give you a threat for an extra die.
Yay, I get that threat back. I'm counting that first one.
Yep. Oh boy.
And Rugan?
We're breaking a mosaic.
Oh, I don't want to break a mosaic. Sorry, it was control. What's it called? Control engineering. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let me look at it. I will allow you to use. I would allow you to use better with machines than people.
Oh man, this early.
All
Okay,
right, that's
yeah,
blocked. That's
let's
that.
re-roll.
Alrighty then.
Okay, that's 3 successes. And Rugan, give me control engineering as an assist. Yes. Well, you succeeded at the check.
We don't have any momentum, do we?
No, you don't.
We succeed, but still do something bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
No.
don't like this.
Yep. You've damaged the mosaic a bit.
But we
The,
didn't completely break it.
yeah. There are some shards that are now misplaced because it's a mosaic. It's made up of a number of little pieces.
Oh boy.
Determination.
Um, I'm gonna say you probably can't. Can you determination spend to re-roll an assist?
I actually don't know.
I'm gonna say no on this one. So it is damaged. Well, the good news is the pieces haven't been destroyed. You
Yes, good
you
news.
you just got a jigsaw puzzle this mother.
This is why I don't do archaeology anymore.
This is why I never do it.
See, look at these things. They're big fucking stupid Klingon hands. I can do what's it called with them.
Mm-hmm.
I can do fucking science with these things. I do use a computer for that. You seen the size of the keys? I'm grand.
Oh boy. Give me a reason science or engineering difficulty 2 roll and someone can assist.
I think my reason science is like 14. I might be wrong.
I got a reason engineering of 14.
Rugan. Rugan, why?
It does not matter. We are just failing.
Rugan,
You,
eager to prove himself would work.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
gonna say let's just use our values and determination immediately at this thing.
And I will
I'm
allow
determined
wait,
not to
wait,
fuck up that
wait, and I
hard.
will allow team dynamics to come in to play here.
Oh, good. Says the GM, hoping we don't fuck up desperately further.
Okay,
Hey.
that's 2 successes. Let's see if luck gets you any momentum. Okay, you get a momentum.
Hey. And now we have only one determination left for our doctor.
Yay!
How will you use it in a meaningless task?
Yeah, I isn't
Ouch.
there yet.
So yeah, you've reassembled this mosaic. Um, it appears to have a good amount of Vulcan script on it. To describe Vulcan script to you, it's very curvy. It's also written top down in lines and kind of has sort of this music note-ish feel to it. But this looks old. This looks much older. So for the first time, we're gone. Give me a reason science difficulty of I'm gonna spend 2 threat to make it a difficulty 3 check. Were you going to spend a momentum?
I think I probably should, because I have to do this alone.
Yep.
Alright, so momentum it is. Any applicable focuses?
Nope, not here. I'm counting that first one. That's all it needs to be.
Oh, good, because I double tapped it.
Yep. So that is a success. So you do succeed at the check, and I will let you know if anything like this comes up in the future where you have to decode any of this old writing. Uh, your talents will come into play.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Or understanding any of this ancient, any of these.
Figuring shit out.
Yeah, if you're trying to decipher anything on these tombs, I think your new talent comes into play.
Hooray.
So you do, however, get it. Hang on, let me ping you a thing. Hang on. Okay. There you go. Did you get that, Barada?
Yes. Yes, I did.
This is the residence of Voreth, disciple of Surak, keeper of the knowledge beyond, trusted with its reason.
Really?
Indeed. It does appear to be an archaic grammar structure, though, that uses an apostrophe in the its.
But
What?
Dumsick used the wrong its and I'm talking shit at him.
But at the same time, Vulcan. Well,
did I use the wrong structure, Barada?
Yes, actually, trusted with its reason.
Did I?
Trusted with
really?
its reason.
let's
Yeah, probably.
let's poke the GM more. We're doing so well already.
Probably not. I'll just be in the shit.
Anyway,
Oh, well, this is. Well, Mel looks at you, Rugan, and says, "Oh, well, this is wonderful. It's exactly as we had anticipated. A ruin from the time of awakening."
Indeed, this is an
yes.
excellent find.
Wonderful. And she puts her hand down at the mural and she just sort of runs her hand over it and she just sort of seems to be examining it.
GM, how long ago was the time of awakening?
Oh, I think there's a thing in the book that says it. Pursuit of Logic. It's in here, I think, where it says. I think it's in here where it says about when that was. It was in the early. It was in some of humanity's earlier days. Come on. 4th century.
So 1,600,
Yes.
like 1,900 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, it's 1,500 to 2,000 years ago. Well, for you guys, yeah.
All right,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, for you guys, almost 2,000 years.
and yeah, the average lifespan of a trill symbiote is only like 500 years, right?
A Trill symbiote?
Yeah.
I think it's something like that.
All right, so never mind. I was just wondering if she was that old, but it's not possible.
It's like I'm old, but I'm not that old.
And she just sort of nods and stands up and says, "All right, this is a great find."
May I ask why you find it so fascinating?
Well, sites from the time of awakening are quite rare. Nonetheless, one that actually pertains to Serac himself. Such finds could define the archaeological journals over the next 25 years, at least, if not the century.
Yes, but
Doc, give
yes.
me an insight command check. Difficulty of 2.
Would someone mind doing that for me?
Oh yeah, I'll take a look at it for you, and I'll even tell if you have a focus or not. Psychiatry, I'll say won't come into play here. But insight. Command. It's actually pretty good.
Mm.
Do you want to
15?
Do you want to spend a momentum?
How many do we have?
1.
We actually. I don't think we
And
have that
difficulty
momentum.
3?
Oh, you don't. That's right. You don't have it.
No.
Okay, in that case, yeah, just roll.
And you do it.
Awesome.
I mean, Doctor, she clearly, believes what she's telling you. She is right. This is a significant archaeological find. But she sees something else in this, and she's not telling you.
Secrets! Yay!
Lieutenant, what do you see within this, mosaic? If you're going to ask me to roll, could my Aussie is the best policy value apply here?
Yes, it will. Presence command.
And yeah, factor in
2 successes.
Is that enough?
We'll see. I gotta roll your.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, honey.
No.
Boy.
Uh,
Complicated. Oh boy.
that's not enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I will, oh, no. I will use the complication. What was the question you had asked?
What she saw in the mosaic.
Oh, just what it says on the tin. House of one of Sirach's disciples, home of his reason, something. Yeah, this is fairly bog standard Vulcan prose of the time. Probably nothing too significant here. However,
Did you not just say this could define archaeology for the year, like 3 sentences earlier?
well, it could certainly upset. It certainly could provide interesting. Hang on. Gotta clear my throat. It certainly could provide interesting studies for Vulcan archaeologists for the next couple of decades, combing over this site and finding out everything they possibly could about this one particular Vulcan. But this is simply his residence. It's highly unlikely that we'll find too many of his personal belongings here. Vulcans of the era tended to be buried with their belongings. This was during the time of Surak, and even among his disciples, some of his teachings about eschewing with personal wealth hadn't entirely taken hold yet, and so even then, some of the pre-awakening burial traditions still came through, even among Surak's disciples.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we should just keep looking, right? Or move on to the next site.
Right. She nods. And
And
yes.
as we walk, I'm gonna like pull Volok and Rugan to the side and say, I think she's hiding something.
What would she have to hide, Doctor?
I don't know, sir, but I'm a psychiatrist, and I saw her eye twitch. It looked like a signal that she was lying, sir.
Well, perhaps there's something she's just not quite sure of yet. I say we keep on, and then if something comes up, we'll bring it up with the rest of the dig crew.
Yes, sir. But how do we catch a trill in the act? She's had lifetimes worth of time to learn how to perfect life.
Well, no, Doctor, you would know this, especially because you
Oh,
were in
sorry.
the medical department. She's unjoined.
Oh, so she
Oh.
just got a life. Yep.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Backtrack that.
My bad. Well, I guess in that case, we'll just have to press on and see what we can find.
Indeed.
And so you two continue going about your work for the day. Meanwhile, we join.
Meanwhile, back at the Hadfield.
It's been a couple of days, but yeah, you guys have arrived at Vulcan.
Entering orbit around Vulcan now, Captain. Boop, boop.
Excellent.
Seriously, sir, I think I should have had a break by now.
There are no breaks here, Chief. Bring the planet up on screen, will you?
Yep, and you guys see it. It is the dry dust ball of Vulcan. In fact, from this side of the planet that you're currently looking at, you can't even see water.
Right. Chief, get me a comm link established with the capital.
Very well.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I have a sound effect for that. I might have a sound effect for that. No, it's something else. It's okay. And a Vulcan appears on screen.
This is Captain Lawrence Jacoby of the USS Hadfield. I was sent here by my Rear Admiral from Starbase 1 to investigate a murder of an ambassador.
Ah, yes, of course. We've been made aware of your presence and are awaiting you on the planet's surface.
Excellent. Captain Jacoby out. Lieutenant Zonin, Chief, you're with me. Bisbee, you have the bridge.
Yes, Captain.
Good. To the transporter room, Chief. I would say no rifles, but I made a promise to you long ago, so go ahead, bring your...
Well, thank you, sir.
We don't have momentum for the plant stuff for that.
Oh yeah, actually, so no rifle then. We don't have the momentum, Chief. To the transporter room.
Very well, sir.
Mm-hmm. And to the transporter room.
Shit.
Then, it's three of you, so that's Jaweza, the Zonin, Jacoby. And for the purpose of this, we put
Let's go.
Okay.
Step on that transporter pad.
And
wake up in Narnia.
it's going to be a control engineering. I'm taking the ship's sensors into account with this. Difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's sensors engineering.
Coming up.
Who's going to make that roll?
This.
Of course. Okay, so you're activating crew support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and see if the ship gets you any momentum.
It does.
Okay. And, hang on, I've got the effect. I know I've got the effect. And I will say, definitely, this is going to have to go into another, this is going to be a 3-parter.
Oh, boy.
But I'm a little easier about it because really, this storyline is 2 parts long. Whereas last week was just
a setup.
Yeah, last week was just sort of everyone chatting and having a good time and socializing. Whereas this one is an actual plot.
All right.
Going on. So I'm a little okay about the fact that it's 3 parts long.
Also, it's not like we spent any time goofing off. We've been working at the main story the whole time.
Yeah. So, I don't have any art for this particular section right now. So you appear in a very prim office. There are a few Vulcans around. They're not wearing any of like the flowing robes. They're wearing rather rather tight-fitting outfits. I mean, you'd almost call it Romulan looking. Jacoby, could you give me an insight security check? Actually, both of you, everyone, give me an insight security check. Difficulty of 1. That's 1 momentum. 1 momentum.
Insight security.
You're welcome, other crew.
And Zona doesn't get this. But Jueza and Jacoby, you pick this up immediately. This is like what you're looking at here is to put it in a different set of words. This is the local constabulary.
Constables. Allow me
Well,
to
I
present
mean,
myself
not
and-
actually constables, but
officers. Allow me to present myself and my crew. I am Captain Lawrence Jacoby of the USS Hadfield. This is my Chief of Security, Master Chief Petty Officer Kiji Jueza, and this is my con officer, Lieutenant Teftazonin.
Well, it's good to have some help from Starfleet on this. It is agreeable to have help from Starfleet in this matter. The more heads put into this issue, the better.
I agree. The honor is ours, officers. Please, will you tell us what this is all about?
Indeed. A few days ago, 4 days and 6 hours to be precise, a hang on, just gonna pull up the name. Ambassador Vitesk was found dead in this very room. His personal office.
I see. What did he die of?
The autopsy report that we have right now concluded that it was blood loss due to a stab wound that he suffered to his that he suffered in his lower abdominal region, perforating his heart.
I see. Chief Chueza, the floor is yours. Officers, my chief of security here may ask you some questions. Myself and the lieutenant here will take a small look around the crime scene if that is agreeable with you.
That is agreeable. And because, again, it's funny, lower abdominal region, because their hearts are where their livers are supposed to be.
Oh, yes. Right. Tazonin, let's spread out around the room. Search it.
Yes, sir.
No, having your heart and your liver switched seems like a terrible idea, evolutionary, because your heart is now in a much more exposed position to be stabbed because it's no longer protected by your rib cage.
Yeah, I never got that. Like, why did they switch those? Because the whole point of the rib cage is to protect your heart and lungs, specifically your heart. And so having the heart exposed just seems like there's no point in the rib cage.
Well, that's how Vulcans. Well, that's how Vulcans are. They don't look
Apparently
it. They don't look it, but they don't look it, but they keep their hearts exposed.
I guess a way to a Vulcan man's heart is through their stomach, right?
Yeah, sure.
In this case, yeah.
That's how that works. Yeah, literally, the weight of this Vulcan man's heart was through his stomach. Ooh, I'm gonna have to use that.
It's just so weird.
Well, interestingly enough, this room doesn't appear to be in any real state of disarray.
Roll for perception.
Yeah, Jueza, give me an insight security roll. Difficulty.
May I assist?
Sure. Insight security roll. Difficulty of I'm going to spend 2 threat. Difficulty of 4.
I'm going to give Jueza. Hang on, bro. What are you doing? Jesus, I was just about to give you 3 momentum.
So roll another 2 dice.
Oh, what's the rush?
Roll it, Jack.
Damn. And
Did you roll a comp?
no, he rolled another 2 successes and another success. So he rolled a grand total of 5 successes.
Okay, now I'll roll as well. Watch as I get a fucking comp now.
Nope, you're good.
Oof.
It's one of the,
Momentum.
it's one of those things that the two of you realize this at the exact same moment. This room is way too neat. I mean, yeah, sure, like it's entirely possible that the killer could have snuck up on him. But even then, you'd expect some minor signs of a struggle. You don't get that. Whoever this was, they were able to get in close.
What do you think, Lieutenant? Guess he doesn't think anything. Well, he's not paid to think.
Did you say lieutenant?
Oh,
Yes, I said lieutenant. Well, it seems like he was indeed stabbed, but it seems very discreet. There's no traces of blood anywhere on the carpet. There's no signs of a struggle.
Well, there were signs of the bloodstains were cleaned up according to the reports,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like other than that, this place is neat as a pin.
Pristine, right? Yeah,
Like
just as I was about to say. I guess the Vulcans do like their murder clean, as far as that. Right. Let's see if the chief has interrogated the officers yet.
if you want, Judge Ueza, you could give me a presence security check, difficulty of 2.
Can I use my focus and interrogation?
Yes.
go break some Vulcan.
All right. What'd you say the 2 stats were?
Presence security.
Presence evil.
Presence bad.
Ooh.
Are you done?
Damn, a 1 and a 3.
Wait, how do you have a security of 6?
He upped it.
You can't up anything above 5.
He's not a young officer.
No, it doesn't matter. You can't up anything above 5. If you're a young officer, you can't up anything above 4, but you can't up anything above 5.
Okay. Then I'll have to change it because I think I used. I think it was a spotlight to move a point. So I'll move it to 5, and then I'll put my con back to 4.
Yeah, it's fine because it wouldn't have affected this particular role as far as your focus is concerned, but just know that for the future.
Okay, it's already fixed.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we're good.
But so those are still 4 successes. God. You get 2 momentum. From what you can gather from everyone here is that it's this hang on. This ambassador did have a number of regular visitors. Another Vulcan ambassador from a much higher level than him. This guy, actually, from what you can gather, wasn't a particularly high-level ambassador. He'd been around to a couple of smaller Federation holdings, smaller Federation embassies. Like, he went to the Talarian Republic. He served as the Talarian Republic ambassador for for a short period. He was never in any particularly high stakes diplomatic position, however. However, he does appear to have had contact uh, with a couple other ambassadors on higher levels. Interestingly enough, he appears to have had contact with an adjunct assistant from the Klingon embassy on Vulcan. Additionally, he's had contacts with a few people from the Vulcan Science Academy. Regular contact, so to speak.
Okay.
So, Chief, managed to find out anything?
I'll relay all of that.
Mhm.
God damn it, I wasn't paying attention.
Guys.
Contact with the Klingon embassy and Science Academy.
Right, I see. Can you formulate any opinion from that, Chief, or is it still too early for you? If it makes any sense, his office was completely clean as far as signs of struggles go. Minimum. It's
Probably someone highly trained in martial arts or military training of some sort.
a professional assassin, you would reckon?
Could be.
I don't suppose you think the Tal Shiar would be bold enough to send someone of their own to kill on Vulcan itself, do you?
Give me a reason.
Wouldn't be the first.
Give me a reason security check.
Who?
Either of you. Difficulty of 3.
Can both of us give it to you?
No. I'll allow. Only one of you can make it. No assist.
Hey, Chief, take 3 momentum.
All right, so 4 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I get this from interrogation or like what am I?
You don't have a focus for this.
Okay, so I'll turn that off.
That is 3 successes. Jaweza, you're considering it. What the captain just suggested to you. Tal Shiar. Could this be a Tal Shiar hit? This is not the Tal Shiar style. Not entirely. There's one major problem with the theory that this was that this was a Tal Shiar hit, and that is if this was a Tal Shiar hit, they wouldn't have found the body.
Okay.
You don't think so, Chief?
So yeah, it doesn't seem like their style, sir.
I mean, they could pull off a. They absolutely could pull off a like a killing where this pristine. You know what I mean? But
I
it's
don't
high.
suppose it was the Klingons. Far too clean for a Klingon job, if you ask me. Obsidian Order?
Well, the Obsidian Order doesn't exist anymore.
As far as we know. Well, we'll formulate anything we can as we go on, I suppose, Chief. Officers, did this ambassador have any close friends, family who can speak for him, maybe? Did he have any enemies?
There were no immediate enemies that we could speak of. However, no immediate enemies that we could easily speak of. However, given his position as an ambassador, there likely were a number who would consider him a target. However, a number of other ambassadors would also appear on that list as well.
Right. So he's an ambassador, an important political figure. Did he have any affiliations with a certain party? And did he make any enemies with members of other parties, perhaps?
I'm afraid you will have to be more specific, Captain.
I see. Well, he was clearly a big figure in politics, was he not? A very big ambassador. Correct me if
I am going to correct you because you are wrong. He wasn't that big of an ambassador.
But he was still an ambassador.
He was still an ambassador, and he knew a few big ambassadors.
I see. Okay. Chief, to which planets did you say he was dispatched? To which empires? Do
Talarian.
we know that?
Yeah, Talarian Republic. There were a few diplomatic situations that he'd been dispatched to within the Federation. But
Okay. Well, what other embassies can we find on Vulcan? Literally every other embassy, right? Vulcans, humans.
yeah,
What?
there are a lot of. The thing is, the core four worlds, Earth, Earth, Vulcan, Tellar, and Andoria. They have quite a few embassies on them, holdovers from the pre-Federation days, and they're allowed to operate these independent embassies as a result. It's in the Federation Charter.
Okay. Well, Chief, you're gonna be heading over to the Klingon embassy and see if they know anything about this. If they deny vehemently, noted. Lieutenant Zonin, you will be visiting the next biggest embassy, which would probably be.
Do
I think.
Do the Romulans have an embassy on? Do the
I
Romulans
don't
have?
think they would. No,
Yeah, I don't think the Romulans do have any embassies in the Federation.
do not think they would. No,
Um,
that's just a bit.
during the Cold War, the USSR and the United States still had embassies with each other.
Right?
I don't think it's
Okay, but
unreasonable
Romulans,
for.
Romulans and Vulcans hate each other on a base level.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this is
yeah, but they still maintain. Uh,
Yeah.
it's still logical to maintain diplomatic contacts.
GM's call. GM's
Well,
call.
yeah. That's the thing. It is going to be my call, and I don't rightly know yet.
I think it's at least my personal opinion, it's to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I
Yeah.
think both the Romulans and the Vulcans would want an embassy with each other, if just to watch each other.
Yeah.
Well, GM, do you know? What
And
do you?
especially considering um, no, it's one of those things. I want to say it, but I have to quickly check the book to see if there's anything that contradicts it. Da, da, da. No, that's history. History. I don't care about the history. Earth Roman War, 23rd century. Blah blah blah. Um, Inspirations. Um, I'm going to say, even if there, here's how I'll put this then. Uh, I'm going to spend 2 threat to create this complication that even if there is a Romulan embassy here, they're not going to want to talk to you.
They're gonna want to talk to me. I was an envoy for, well, much time.
That's fair.
Well, even if there is, and I'm going to inquire about it, Lieutenant Zonin, head over to the Earth Embassy and see if they know anything. Myself, I will be going to the Chief Administrative Offices to find out where the Romulan Embassy might be, if there even is one. We'll meet back here in about 3 hours. Sound good to you?
Mhm.
Lieutenant Zonin, Chief Jueza?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Good.
sounds good to me.
Actually,
Well,
I will say.
found
Actually, I will say that there's probably a Romulan embassy on Vulcan because of one fact, and that's uh, probably due in a combination of uh, the what's the word uh, the actions of Ambassador Spock and
during that one episode, yeah.
yeah, the actions of Ambassador Spock, and the fact that there are certain elements within the Romulan Empire that push for reunification with the Vulcans, admittedly on their terms, but with enough voices wanting relations with the Vulcans, an embassy is established there.
Yeah, also, how long has it been since the last Federation Romulan War? Quite
Yeah.
a while.
Oh, it's been a while, and not to mention the Romulans were also allies with us during the Dominion War.
What are you
Exactly.
talking about? We fight the war every day in the neutral zone.
So that's so
Yeah,
yes, I'll say that there is a Romulan embassy. I will buy that.
Good. I'm going to see the big bad then. Jueza is going to the Klingons, and the Zonan is going to the Earth
Okay,
embassy.
so we're about to end the episode then, and we'll pick it up next time we play. But as the three of you leave the central ambassadorial complex in the Vulcan capital of Shikar, none of you are aware of the eyes that are currently laying upon you. From the top of a building in the distance is a figure holding a pair of binoculars. As he looks at you, you wouldn't be even able to tell what his facial expression was. He's smiling, but it'd be a little hard to tell underneath that grimacing mask.
Oh, those idiots again.
Oh boy.
And that is where we end Voice of Reason, Part 2.
Told you guys it was the Romulans.